are joined by Girish Sodani, co-founder, Ensure Capital on the fundamentals, and Aditya Arora, founder and multi-asset research analyst, Analytic.in on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you both on the show. Now let's get straight to the queries. First question is written to us from Puducherry. So John is writing to us saying that he has 45 shares of Piramal Pharma, average price at 76.65, and he has bought these shares 2 years back, and he's already booked a partial profit, and he would like to add more shares now. So at what price should he be buying again? And should he hold it for another 2 years? So currently is what I can see that just a small amount of profit that he's sitting at is around 6,000 there. Currently it's trading, Piramal Pharma is trading at 221 and was up in trade today over 1%. But the stock has experienced fluctuations recently with a decline of about 19.53% in the last 3 months, but an increase in over 68% over the past 1 year. So Girish, what's your say on the same? What are the fundamentals of Piramal Pharma looking like? Are you bullish on this particular company?
So basically, in the fundamental terms, obviously, we are a little bit bullish on that particular note. As we saw that the pharmaceutical companies as well as the nutrition and mixture-based companies, fusion-based companies are still working on the particular portions, as well as the companies are focus on their expansions and they are restructuring on their particular propositions of growth and as well as the export numbers. So we are a little bit bullish on that. If they are getting a chance for around 200 or 205 range, they definitely go and add for some of the portions and just hold for the, obviously their position is for the 3-year time frame. So definitely just go and buy it for at around of 200 and 205 range. And the extended would be some around 300 to 350 at least for the time frame of 1.5 year.
So that view, and Aditya, coming to you, considering the tariffs, the US tariffs on the pharma imports, so considering that aspect in mind, are you, what's your take on the pharma sector per se? And if you talk about this company, Piramal Pharma, so how is it faring on the charts?
Sure. I think pharma sector has been doing pretty well, and it has been one of the consistent outperformance in the market so far. Where there was a lot of volatility, pharma sector has continued to deliver returns. I think that may continue in future also, where there's a lot of uncertainty. This sector continues to attract money and inflows because of its consistent returns and better like less volatility compared to industry facing sectors. And when we look at charts of Piramal Pharma, I think the stock has taken beautiful support at its multi-month support. So I think long way to go from here. And as the stock is respecting its support, the volume participation is also good and the medium-term trend is up. I think it can again continue its upward journey soon once we see a breakout about 230. So I maintain a positive bias on this counter, and one can maintain buy on dip strategy, and it's a good bet even at the current market price.
All right, so that's a positive note on both the fundamental and technical aspect on Piramal Pharma. With that, we have a query, WhatsApp query from Kiran. He's written to us from Dubai saying that can he buy Polycab at current levels for long term? And he's looking for a review on the same. So currently the stock is trading at 5,083 and was down over 6% in trade today. Girish, the stock has seen a significant drop in price recently. So what do you have to say? How are the fundamentals of Polycab looking like?
So as we saw that the wires as well as the cable companies are still focused on because of the infrastructure's growth, and we are just expanding the proposition of around 23 to 24% of the year-on-year basis growth in the infrastructure segment itself. But almost we talk about the Polycab now, the company is almost a debt-free. In the fundamental terms, it looks very good. The companies are continuing to the profit growth of around 28%. CAGR in the 5-year time frame also. So for the positive firms, obviously his horizon, if we saw that for the next 2 to 3 years, obviously we are bullish on that particular note. But current levels, I am not very much bullish on that. If we got the chance of around 4,000, 4,500 level, then definitely they have to add and buy for the proposition of at least 2.5 year time frame.
All right. Thanks for that view. And Aditya, what do you have to say on the same?
I think let the volatility settle down a little bit because there's a lot of volatility in the wire and cable sector right now. So currently, I don't have any view on this stock as of now.
Okay. So let's go across to the first caller on the show. Anthony is calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Anthony. Good evening. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, good evening.
Yes. How can we help you, Anthony?
I have a query regarding NMDC.
Okay.
Wherein I would like to invest around in the 500 stocks.
How many stocks?
I'm planning to invest in around 500 stocks.
500
so is it the right
stocks.
level?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it the right level for entry? And my horizon is around 1 year is what I'm looking for.
Okay. So a long-term view on it. Currently, it's trading at 68. Which is near to its 1-year lows is what I can see. And looking at the charts, Girish, since December, the stock has fallen significantly. So what do you have to say? Is it advisable for Anthony to, enter NMDC at these levels?
So currently, I'm not very much sure that the NMDC is a good bet for as of now because the high volatility in NMDC, as well as if it falls that the iron almost of the sector itself, it seems like a heavy volatility as of now. So my suggestion is to still avoid at this particular level itself. If we got a chance of around 49 to 50 levels, that is a very strong propositions for the buying side. So if we get the chance of that particular level, obviously they have to go for it. But more into the NMDC, there is a more into the dividend proposition stock. So the growth propositions are not very much favorable right now that they are getting a very good opportunities in the growth proposition. But obviously in the dividend propositions, if we say that the both of the mixtures, then the NMDC is a good bet, but not at the right level. Just wait for the some little bit downside, and then you can buy it for the longer proposition.
All right. And Aditya, what's your outlook for the short term on NMDC?
The kind of news flow which we are receiving from China, on back of that, we have seen copper prices inching to new highs, new 52-week highs. Aluminium is doing well, and zinc is also doing well. So all the metal space is buzzing in the international market. And as these companies have underlying commodity metals as their underlying commodity, I think the fundamental outlook is pretty good. And when we analyze these companies technically, then I think it has just given a breakout above levels of 65. So until it's above the level of 65, there's scope for recovery till levels like 75 to 80. So I maintain positive bias on this counter at the current market price with stop loss of 60.
Right, thanks for that view, Aditya. With that, we have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Amit. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, how can we help you, Amit?
Yeah, I'm holding around 200 shares of latent view analytics. So I would like to know the expert view on this. And also, is it good time to average? My average price is around 480.
Okay, I can see that you are sitting on a loss of almost over 21,000 there. And where did you buy it exactly?
I bought in staggered manner. So when it was trading at 530, from then till 400, I have averaged.
Yes. So you're looking for a medium-term view, right?
Yes, around 1 year.
All right, around 1 year. So Girish, coming to you, latent view analytics has shown significant fluctuation in its stock price recently, with a notable decline of over, in the past few months, indicating potential volatility. So what do you have to say on latent view? Is it advisable for Amit to stay invested in the counter?
Yes, obviously, because the companies are more into the restructuring on their particular propositions. As we talk about the US, as we saw that all the IT companies are still facing the heavy crunches in the US market, as the US has not still recovered in the mode. But now the companies are more focused into the other international market too, as well as the US, as well as the green and proposition. So for my thought is that they can go and average this particular stock. The companies are still working on their operational values as well as the operational cost propositions. So they have to just more focus on their thought that at least the vision is for the 1.5 year time frame for the growth of around 500 to 550 levels.
All right. Thanks for that view, Girish. With that, let's go across to a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Shrikant. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, madam.
Yes. How can we help you, Shrikant?
Opportunity focus mid cap and small cap pharma stocks, madam. Long
Okay.
term is 5 years, 6 years, madam.
All
5
right.
years, 10 years.
So you
Long
need-
term, madam. Fundamentally, the strongest stock, madam. Fundamentally, the strong stock.
All right, all right. I'll get your
Small
query
cap, mid cap.
answered. Girish, you
Small
know,
cap, mid cap.
our viewers are always very keen since the pharma sector is in buzz. So, you know, the new investors are very much keen as to which stock to pick, what are the top 3 picks or 5 picks, you know, in this particular sector. So I'll come to you. What are your top 2 or 3 picks in the pharma sector?
So, as we talked earlier, that the Piramal Pharma is one of the biggest pick as of now because the fusion of that particular instruments, Piramal Pharma is still working on the good note. And if we talk about the other stocks, then the Zydus Pharma is my favorable stock as of now. The companies are still working on the operations cost, as well as now the companies are more into the expansions growth, and the companies are still in the very good valuations as of now. So these both of the stocks are good for me in the pharmaceutical sector.
All right, thanks for that view. And Aditya, what are your top picks in the pharma sector?
I think Laurus Lab looks good on the charts. After a period of long consolidation, this stock is making an attempt to move up. So this one looks good. And second one from the large cap space, Dr. Reddy. This is also doing pretty well. So I like that one. And third one would be Ajanta Pharma. Ajanta Pharma also did period of underperform, was in period of underperformance, and recently the price action is very encouraging. So I like Ajanta Pharma in the pharma pack.
Okay, thanks for those picks there. I'm sure our viewers will be very excited to know all this. With that, we have a caller from Himachal Pradesh. Hi, Paramji. Thanks for calling in.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How can we help you?
I'm having 1,400 shares of landmark cars
Okay,
at the rate of 402.
right.
Fundamental as well as technical.
So
view.
you recently bought it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. Landmark Cars is currently trading at its near 1 year lows. And Girish, coming to you, since he's asked for a long-term view on the counter, you know, the stock has faced significant volatility and, it has declined notably over the past 1 year. And the company has also reported mixed financial results recently. So what do you have to say? Are you bullish on this company?
It's not about the landmark pharma. We are just seeing the whole sector is facing the very critical notes because as we see is that the sales proposition, the passenger vehicles as well as the normal vehicle sales are still in a very critical note, as well as not in the tier 1 city, but we are facing this issue in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, all the 3 tier cities. So because of the landmark pharma we are talking about, obviously the mixed results are there. They are not very much performing, as well as the deal proposition of J as well as the MG Motors are facing huge propositions right now. So we are more into the negative thoughts in the automobile sector as of now. So my proposition is very negative as of we talk about for the below of the 1 year time frame. We are not very much bullish in any of the automobile sectors as of now. So if the horizon is less than a 1 year, I am not very much favorable to buy any of the automobile sector. Just go and switch to the other sectors because now this is a time for the sector rotations and you have to switch to the another sector.
Thanks for that strong view that is coming in by Girish. And Aditya, talking about the auto space, rightly said, you know, the companies are increasing their prices. So what do you have to say, you know, talking about the sector in particular, and if we talk about landmark cars, how is it faring on the charts?
I agree with Girish ji, and I think the way auto sector is doing these days, like there's lack of recovery in fundamentally and technically. The news flow is not as bullish as it was 1 or 2 years back. And second, look at the recovery on automobile stocks. It's not very strong recovery. It's just a retracement along with the bounce in the market. So I think technically also the sector outlook is not as strong as it was 1 or 2 years back. Although technical patterns may take time to form, but right now the outlook is neutral, not very bullish. Second, Landmark Cars has broken its IPO listing price range also. So technically, that's a weak sign. So I would say that it's a sell on rise candidate because you're not sure how significant the recovery would be in this stock. So I think instead of this sector and stock, he could look for other opportunities where a lot of stocks and sectors are bouncing 5 to 20% every day. So I would again suggest sector rotation over here.
So that view, Aditya. With that, we have a caller from Karnataka. Suraj is calling in. Hi, Suraj. Good evening.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes. How can we help you, Suraj?
I want expert opinion.
On what?
I try to buy a HBL stock tomorrow. If this is good or not?
Which stock, Suraj?
HBL.
HBL.
Yeah.
Okay. So so technically in the renewable energy space.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Girish, I'd like to come to you. Talking about the renewable energy space, so everybody is eyeing, the space considering the sustainable, outlook that people are looking at. So, what do you have to say? What are your topics, or do you have any suggestions in regarding this space in particular?
So, obviously, if we talk about the renewable energy, so this particular sector, we are not thought that it's go for the very short-term proposition. Obviously, it's a sector generation right now, and we have to think that at least the renewable energy is going to be encouraged, or we can going to be mature in the next 3 or 4 year time frames. So, if we talk about any particular stocks, either it would be talk about the Tata Motors, HBLs, any any single stocks we are any of the names, so every single stocks takes a little bit time of at least minimum time frame of at least 2.5 year time frames. So if we talk about the renewable energy, yes, it's a very growing right now, you have to buy it. If we talk about the HBL engines, HBL engineering, yes, the companies are the fundamentally looks strong, the companies are reducing their debt, and almost we are talking about on it's like a debt free company. The companies are profit growth is very excellent ones. We talk about the 60% above the profit growth. The working capital is excellent workings in the restructuring formats. If we talk about the 82 days is a very good format in the fundamental terms. All the fundamental terms are very, very strong in the HBL engine. But you have to focus that this particular stock is not giving any returns in the time frame of or 3 or 6 months times. You have to at least hold for the 2 or 3 years time frame for any single we talk about the in renewable energy stocks. So just buy it at this particular level also, but at least wait for the 2.5 year time.
All right. So you can buy, in this space, renewable energy space, but hold for some time, at least for 3 years or 4 years is what Girish is suggesting. With that, let's go across to a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Kushal.
Yeah, hi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening. How can we help you?
Planning to purchase Genus Power, which is into smart metering.
Yes.
So is it the right time to enter into the stock? Because I'm planning for a lump sum.
For how long?
So at least for 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years. Okay, so that's a pretty long horizon there. Girish, coming to you, Genus Power has faced significant declines in its stock price is what I can see, and that is indicating challenges in the market performance and investor sentiment as well. But Kushal is keen into entering Genus Power. So do you advise him to, buy this stock at this particular level? Because currently it's trading at 268.
So currently, I'm not monitoring this particular stock.
Okay.
So I'm not very much favorable to just share my view on this.
All right. That's totally fine. Aditya, do you have any opinion or outlook on Genus Power?
Yeah, so this stock is taking good support at its multi-week support zone of 230 to 240. So as markets have corrected significantly, and this stock has also corrected quite a bit from the highs of 500 odd levels. I think this could be level where risk reward is favorable. But as the fall was so dramatic, it could take some time and a lot more price action or volume participation to see a significant recovery. But along with the market, the stock could also recover. But I think the recovery could be in line with the market. I don't see case for significant outperformance as of now, but there's scope for good recovery from here.
All right. Thanks for that view, Aditya. I'm sure our viewer has benefited from it. With that, we have a WhatsApp query from Ekam Baraya. He's written to us from Hyderabad saying that he's holding 125 shares of Tejas Network at 1266 rupees. So can he start averaging? And he wants to keep the stock for minimum 1 year. So currently is what I can see is he is sitting on a loss of almost 70,000 there. So, and Tejas Networks, Girish has seen fluctuations, including a drop of over 17% in just past 1 month compared to a minor decline in the broader BSE telecommunication index. So what do you have to say? What advice do you have for Ekam Baraya?
So Tejas Networks, we saw the heavy volatility for the last many time frames, but now the companies are more into the focusing on the proposition of the next level of pitchings to the new cities and new areas. And we talk about the fundamental terms. Obviously, the very big news is there that Tejas Network are getting a 123 crores PLI incentives also from the central government. So this is also count as a very stronger point time frame. But if the horizon is for the longer period of time, at least 1.5 year, then my suggestion is to just add the Tejas Network at the range of around 600 to 650 times, not at the current level, because we saw that the jump is because of the PLI schemes. So just wait and let's settle down this particular stocks. And then you have to buy at the level of 600, 650 and take a time frame of at least 1.5 year.
Okay. So thanks for that view, Girish. Buy at 600 to 650 levels is what Girish is suggesting, and not at current levels. Now we have a caller from Mysuru. Hi, Shankar. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, how can we help you, Shankar?
Ma'am, Motilal was for the stock 350 stock quantity. Average price of 625.
Okay.
1 month back by ma'am. Seller ordered ma'am profit 3,000 ma'am. Extra share add me ma'am.
All right. And for how long are you planning to hold this counter?
Ma'am, 9 months ma'am, short term.
Short term. All right. Aditya, coming straight to you. Motilal Oswal has shown strong long-term performance with significant returns there. So how is it faring on the charts? Is it advisable for Shankar to add more at these levels?
Yeah, the stock looks good right now because it has seen significant correction from 1,000 odd levels to almost 550, 600, which is its important multi-week, multi-month support. So over here, the risk reward is good. I maintain positive bias on this counter with stop loss of 550.
Okay, thanks for that view. Let's go across to a caller who's joining us from Tanjore. Hi, Siraj. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, how can we help you?
I'm holding Maruti Suzuki shares, 10 shares.
Okay.
Price of 11,800, madam.
Okay.
I just want to know the short-term outlook.
All right. For
And
how
also,
long? For how much short term are you looking at?
3 months. 3 months. Time
3 months. And
and
is there
also,
any target that you've set?
Yes, madam.
Is there any target price that you've set for yourself?
No. I just want to know the target also. What to expect.
Okay.
Short term.
Aditya, coming to you, he's bought it at 11,800 and it is, near its 1 year lows. So, do you see any kind of recovery there in the near 2 to 3 months?
Yes, recovery can be expected as markets are recovering, and Maruti being a large cap stock in auto pack, I think it should participate. And technically, also, it has reached its support of 11,000 odd levels. Until unless 11,200 is protected, we can expect recovery in this counter. Second, stock is consolidating since a lot of time. Once the stock moves above 11,850, that would be a technical breakout. So we can see some recovery coming back in this counter. And technical
Right,
risk.
Aditya.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for that view, but I'm sorry, we are getting a breaking news currently. Manappuram Finance approves raising of 4,385 crores via issue of shares and warrants. Now, Bain Capital to buy 9.29 crore shares and 9.29 crore warrants in the company. This will later classify Bain Capital as promoter of Manappuram Finance. Vishwanath Nair is joining us on the phone line with more on this. Vishy, why is this fundraise so significant?
Right. So, Himashi, as you can see from the announcement, Bain Capital will be taking over Manappuram Finance. Of course, this transaction is in multiple phases. The first phase is about 18% worth of equity being issued to Bain Capital on a preferential allotment basis. So that money, essentially about 2,000 odd crore, 2,200 odd crore worth of money will come in into the company, and then of course the promoters will also be selling a part of their shares to Bain Capital. Of course, the warrants themselves are convertible into equity shares. One warrant equals one equity share in the future. There's been a specific time period that has been given, 4 months after the deal is signed, and before the 18-month timeline concludes, these warrants can be converted into equity shares. So that's the bare basics of the deal. But it's important because Manappuram Finance, of course, as you know, is a family-owned business. It was started by VP Nandakumar's father. VP Nandakumar is the current MD of the company, and it's one of the largest gold finance companies in India. So it's an important sort of a deal. Bain Capital is, of course, a US-based investor, is a private equity firm. They're coming in and buying stake in a gold loan company. That in itself is quite significant. What is also interesting to note here is that the gold lending business has been under the regulator's radar in recent months because of actually issues at the bank level. But NBFCs had been bearing the brunt of the negative sort of viewpoint around the sector. However, an important deal like this, where a US investor, a US private equity investor is coming and buying controlling stake in Manappuram Finance, will sort of bring back confidence into the gold finance, gold loan sector, Himashi.
Yes, and since gold space has already been taken, we already know that it's like a safe haven. So considering these aspects and amid the US tariffs in play, Manappuram Finance, raising 4,385 crore via issue of shares and warrants is significantly gonna, affect the company. But Vishwanath, for our viewers who are just, kind of logging in, what do you have to say? What more do you have to add on this story?
Interestingly, Manappuram Finance has been facing some business issues in recent past. In fact, if you look at the way that their portfolio has been growing, the gold finance segment actually is coming down. So, yes, they are a gold loan heavy company. But having said that, the gold portion has been coming down, and the other businesses, which is MSME lending, asset financing, like vehicles and equipment, as well as their home loan business and the microfinance business under Ashirvad Microfinance. All of these businesses have been growing consistently. Ashirvad Finance only recently faced RBI restrictions. Of course, those restrictions were then very quickly removed by the Reserve Bank as well. But there's been a lot of regulatory overhang around this company. And with this transfer of shares, with this sale of the company to a private equity investor, this comes across as a lot of important confidence capital for the average shareholder over there. Of course, the promoters are exiting, but it's still quite interesting that a private equity investor is keen on a business that is heavy on gold loans, but also does other retail financing and small business financing as part of the business. Having said that, I also want to add that gold prices themselves have been going up, and this however, poses a slight risk because, eventually when gold prices do start coming down, there is a direct impact on the quality of the loans because you would have lent money at a certain value, and then after the value of the gold comes down, then the borrowers have to keep pumping in money into their loan to ensure that the loan to value ratio does not go out of whack. And that may cause some stress, but of course, I'm sure sophisticated investors like Bain Capital would have thought about this already and would have factored these things into the price that they're buying for. They're buying at about 236 rupees a share, and that looks like a pretty good price considering where the company is at this point in time.
Yes, Vishy, please stay with us. We are also joined by, Girish Sudani is there with us on the show. So I'd like to take his view also on this news. Girish, what do you have to say? How will this be affecting the fundamentals of the company? Girish, you're not audible. If you could just unmute.
Yeah, basically these type of actions obviously create a very negative propositions in the terms of investors as well as they're talking about the retail investors as of now. But my view is just to wait and watch the situations, how the management is going to become and create the more clarity on that particular step into it. So my suggestion is to just wait and watch for all the investors. So just don't go in a panic situations. Just let us once the management give any clarification on that particular note, and then we have to just finalize what we have to go for the next position.
Right, Girish. And Aditya, do you have any particular say in this? Manappuram Finance has approved raising 4,385 crore via issue of shares and warrants. So do you see as a positive for the company?
I think technically the stock has reached its resistance zone as of now, and today the stock saw a significant amount of price action. So I think there is uncertainty going ahead as in how the stock would react. But I feel that there could be some correction initially, and right level to accumulate this stock would be 190 odd levels.
All right. And with that, Aditya Shah, founder of Hercules Advisors, is joining us on this news. So Aditya, you already know that Manappuram Finance has approved raising 4,385 crores via issue of shares and warrants. So do you see this as a positive for the company?
Yeah, so this will, the capital adequacy of the company was really very high. So I will take some time to understand why are they raising these funds, what are the promoters really doing. But as such, there was no requirement of raising these funds per se. So it needs to be understood what is the company really doing and why are they raising these funds.
Hi, this is Vishwanath here. I just wanted to ask a quick question. So, just looking at the press release that the company has released to the exchanges, they are saying that the promoters will remain invested in the company and that adjusting for this dilution, their stake will fall to about 28.9%, roughly 29%. And the price at which Bain Capital is buying, 236, that's about a 30% premium to where the price is. I just wanted to get a sense from you. Is this price looking good as an analyst when you're looking at this deal?
So, price, Vishwanath, the first thing that needs to be understood is who is going to run the company, what is going to really happen, and if the promoters are making a statement that they are just going to stay invested. It means that there is going to be a whole host of change in management and a professional management will come. So sit and see what the new management will come in and how will they steer the company. Mind you, over the last 1.5, 2 years, it was a mind. So,
Hi, apologies. I think I'm losing your audio. But interestingly, as part of this entire deal, they are also talking about the rights on nomination of directors on the board. So as part of that disclosure, they've said that Bain Capital as well as the promoters both will have the right to appoint 2 directors if both their shareholdings individually are above 10%. If the shareholding falls below 10% but still remains above 5%, they can still appoint one director each. I'm talking about Bain Capital as well as the promoter family group. And then once the shareholding falls below 5% on either of those sides, then the rights, then nomination rights then fall away. So it does look like they will have some say in the way that the board is structured and who will actually continue on the board, at least till the time that they hold on to the stake of about roughly 29% that they will have in the company post-dilution. Does this give any confidence to you? Right. I think we've lost Aditya's line as of now, Himakshi. But just to put things into perspective, of course, there's a lot of details that have been given out in the company's press release as well as their exchange notification. Now remember that they're saying that this 4,385 crore is being invested to buy 18% stake on a fully diluted basis via preferential allotment, and that the warrants will still be priced at 236. So once that gets converted, then of course the shareholding goes up. The transaction will trigger a mandatory open offer for the purchase of an additional 26%. So 18% plus 26%. So that's 34% equity stake. As far as 44% equity stake. Apologies. 44% equity stake for Bain Capital in Manappuram Finance, which will be quite an interesting sort of proposition because they will end up holding more than the promoter family is at this point in time.
Yes,
right.
Yes, absolutely, Rishi. It's significant, and Manappuram Finance is to acquire Manappuram Asset Finance from VP Nandakumar and other shareholders. This is what, viewers, the news is coming in, and Bain Capital is about to hold 44% shares in Manappuram Finance. So with that, we'll have to slip into a short break. We keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp and call in. We'll be right back for Ask Profit. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
We have requested the management to come and speak to us. They asked us, what questions will you ask? We've sent it to them. They don't want to answer it, so then let's put it to our viewers as well.
7 key questions, right? How is it that 2,000 crore goes unnoticed by all of these auditors?
Is seeking more information on the trades and the all the transaction which has happened from the exchanges, both NSE and BSE.
The Reserve Bank of India's supervisory officers, they are seeking compliance reports on their foreign currency borrowings by these banks.
The DSS is actively engaging with the Reserve Bank of India to sort of ensure the thorough examination of the matter. And
IndusInd Bank, as part of its internal review, had found that certain aspects of its derivatives portfolio was not meeting the standard that was set by the Reserve Bank of India.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every unloam, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the trading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit, and I'm joined by Girish Sodani on the fundamentals and Aditya Arora on the technicals on the show. With that, we have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi Srinivas, good evening.
Auto space fast loan, mid cap and small cap, long term, 4-5 years ki long term basket.
All right.
Recommendations.
Okay.
Fundamentally, the strongest stocks, madam.
Yes. Yes, I got your query, Srinivas. Girish, coming to you. He's asking for stock recommendations in the mid-cap auto parts sector. So, do you have any picks there?
So, for the auto parts, we are just talking about, then my proposition is that obviously there's a Motherson Sumi as well as the Exide industry. This particular, both of the stocks are come into the auto ancillaries, as we are talking about for the next future perspective also, like a chip manufacturing, recyclings of the batteries. So these both of the companies are working on this particular segment itself. So this both of the candidates are for the longer propositions for at least 4 to 5 years time.
All right. And Aditya, coming to you, do you have any picks for the short term there?
I maintain neutral bias in automobile sector, as we were discussing that the recovery in the sector is less strengthful compared to other sectors. So I maintain neutral bias. I would suggest that instead of auto ancillary, you could choose sectors like metal, which is participating in this rally. Second sector which I like is FMCG sector. I think the recovery in these two sectors could be more consistent and more strengthful.
All right. Now we are getting a caller from Kashmir. Hi, Jagdeep. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, ma'am. I want to ask about, ma'am, Lumax Auto Technology.
Okay.
I want to invest in this stock, ma'am.
Okay. And why are you looking to invest in this particular counter?
Ma'am, it has good fundamentals, and I want to diversify my portfolio.
Okay.
Due to this, I want to invest in this.
You're looking for a long-term view on it?
Yeah, both short term as well as long term.
All right. So Aditya, I'd come to you first on the technical front. Currently the stock is trading at 536 and it was down over 0.5% today in trade. But if you look at the charts, it has fallen significantly from January onwards. So what do you have to say? Are you bullish on this company?
I think yes, the chart structure is neutral to positive, and the stock has taken support at 480, 500 odd levels. Until unless 480 is protected, one can maintain bullish bias on this counter, and the resistance level on the upside are 570 to 630. So those could be the target levels for this counter.
Okay, and Girish, are the fundamentals of Lumax Auto looking promising to you?
Yes, obviously it's looking promising because they're still working on their particular sales number also. And we talk about the current numbers where the companies are December numbers, then the companies are giving a good year-on-year basis numbers in the sales proposition as well as the PAT numbers too. They are working on the revision of their profit margins too. So my proposition is also for the good for the longer period of time.
Okay, so that's a positive outlook on Lumax Auto. Now we have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi Venkat, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, how can we help you, Venkat?
Yeah, I am holding 50 shares of DAM Capital.
Okay.
At the price of 395.
Right.
So I want to invest for at least 1 year or 2 years.
Okay.
So I am already in a loss of 44%.
Yes, I can see that you are sitting on a loss of over 8,000, 8,500 there. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I want to add some more.
Okay.
Is it right time or the stock may fall down further?
Okay.
I want to know.
Yeah, Girish, since he's looking for a long-term view on the counter, you know, DAM Capital also has experienced significant volatility in its stock price over the past 1 year with a notable decline of its 52-week high. And so what do you have to say? Are you positive on this company? Should he be holding this for another 1 year?
For the DAM capitals, it would be the very longer period of time. We talk about not for the single 1 year or 1.5 year time. At least you have to wait for the 3 to 4 years time frame. Because if you talk about any capital or the advisory type of companies, so the proposition of their business generation is little bit higher. And these particular companies are working into the investment banking. So obviously, the financial advices and the financial solutions takes a lot of time to just getting what they are returning in the term of numbers and getting in the good profit margins we talk about. So for if you have the capacity to hold for the next at least 3 or 4 year time frame, then go and invest in this particular sector, or else just go for a switch to the another sectors as of now.
All right. So either hold it for long term for more than 1 year, or you can just exit the counter is what Girish is suggesting on DAM Capital. With that, we have a caller from Vizag. Hi, Harish. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, I'm calling from Vizag. I am having 200 shares of IREDA.
Okay.
Can I hold the shares or can I exit?
And for how long are you looking to hold this counter?
1 or 2 years.
1 or 2 years. So you're a long-term investor.
Consistent.
Okay, okay. Currently it's trading at 150 and you have bought it at 203. And so you're sitting on a loss there. But Girish, is it advisable for Harish to stay invested in IREDA?
Yes, obviously, but as we talked about previously also, that for the renewable energy or renewable sector, you have to maintain the thought of at least 2 or 3 years time frame or a minimum of 5 year time frame, because this particular sector is still on a starting stage as of now. And we talk about the IREDA now, then obviously the company fundamentals looks good. The companies are good into the profit growth of around 30% plus. And the companies are getting a very strong quarters in the life. We saw about the last 2 quarters itself. The companies are performing very well. For the fundamental terms, obviously the IREDA is moving very strong. But obviously this market corrections, when the every sector is down, especially we saw that the huge upside in this particular sector, then obviously the corrections are there. But now this particular sector is settled down. So yes, you have to still invest it for at least 2 to 3 years.
Okay, okay. So you should again invest in stocks like IREDA and DAM Capital for at least 2 to 3 years is what Girish is suggesting for the long term. Now we have a WhatsApp query. So Saqib has written to us he hasn't mentioned the place, but he has IRB shares, 1,325 shares at 44 a piece, and he's looking for a 1 month to 6 month view on it. So, you know, over the past 1 month, Aditya, IRB stock has decreased by about, over 12% there. But over the last 3 months, it has declined approximately over 25%. So how is IRB faring on the charts?
I think right now the risk reward is very attractive. Although the stock has corrected from 75 odd levels, now the stock is trading at 45. 40 is an important support for this counter. So I think until and unless 40 is protected, this is a good entry price. Over here, the outlook is bullish with stop loss of 40.
Okay, thanks for that view, Aditya. With that, let's go across to one more WhatsApp query. So Usha is writing to us from Hyderabad saying that she has 100 shares of Traxin at 106 rupees and she's sitting on at a loss, and she would like to know that whether she can hold or average out her losses for long term. Currently, Traxin is trading at 54 and was down in trade over 1% today. And Traxin, for the viewers, who don't know about the company, so basically Traxin curates data of startups on a subscription basis. So Girish, do you have any suggestion on this particular company?
No, I'm not able to track this particular sector as of now, but as a fundamental.
All right. No worries. Aditya, how is it faring on the charts? If you can just help our viewer.
So recently the stock broke its 2023 lows, which it established in March 2023. 60 odd levels it broke recently. So technically the picture isn't so rosy, although with market it could recover along with it. But overall the technical structure is not so impressive, hence I would suggest it's a sell on rise candidate.
Right, so not so good view on Traxin. Now we have a caller from Punjab. Hi Jagjit, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Yes, how can we help you, Jagjit?
So, I bought a stock called Indegene, INDEGENE Limited, and my buy price is 600.
All right.
So, I got 2,000 stocks of this company, and I want to know, like, for a short term, like 1 year scenario.
Okay, because you are sitting on a significant loss of over 1 lakh there, is what I can see. So, Girish, do you advise Jagjit to stay invested in Indegene since he is sitting on a loss of almost, over 1 lakh rupees there?
The companies are still working on the fundamental terms. We talk about the profit growth. Obviously, the companies are giving an excellent profit growth as of now. And now the companies are still working on their particular propositions. So we talk about the technologies as well as the safety numbers of the life sciences, as well as the integrate solutions into the health and as well as the commercials and regulatory safety measures. So now the companies are working on their expansion modes. So for the at least time frame of around 6 to 8 months, you have to invest it. To just a little bit about that particular losses, I'm not very much feel good into the everything of current level right now. But if you are getting a chance of around 475 or 480 levels, then just go and we just invested some of the stocks as well as the average in this particular levels, and just hold for the at least 1.5 year.
All right. Thanks for that view. With that, we have a query. WhatsApp query from Andhra Pradesh. Venkat has written to us saying that he's bought 8,000 shares of HAL at an average price of 3,608, and can he hold this for another 6 months? So, or should he exit at these levels? Because, but kudos to him. He's sitting on a handsome profit of over 16 lakh there. So Venkat, if you're watching the show, kudos to you for spotting the correct levels. And Aditya, coming to you, should he be booking his profits or should he stay invested for another 6 months and make more profits?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to our viewer. It's about patience in market which rewards you well. So he had perfectly displayed that, perfectly practiced that. Now coming back to the query, as the stock is rebounding very strongly from its support of 3,000 odd levels, the stock has shown phenomenal rally from almost 300 odd levels to 5,500, and from there we saw correction, and now it seems the stock is again back on its recovery path. As the momentum is strong, recovery is strong, price action is good. I think the outlook is positive right now. One should maintain stop loss of 3,000, which is its major swing low. So until 3,000 is protected, one can anticipate a better outlook over here. The levels on the upside are 4,000 odd levels to 4,300, which are its major pivot levels. So my outlook is positive on this counter.
Okay, so that's a positive outlook on HAL. And with that, I'm afraid that we are running short of time. But thank you so much, Girish and Aditya, for being on the show and, patiently answering all our viewers' queries. So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you. And with that, viewers, it's a wrap on this edition of Ask Profit. But stay tuned. There's more lined up ahead for you all.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
We have requested the management to come and speak to us. They asked us, what questions will you ask? We've sent it to them. They don't want to answer it. So